A question we often get is whether a person is being investigated by the federal government. And they can have this question for many reasons. Sometimes they receive a target letter, which explicitly says that they're being investigated and targeted by a federal grand jury. Sometimes it's not so clear. Sometimes questions are being asked of neighbors, of business associates by the FBI or other federal agencies. Sometimes they get notice from their bank or from another association that their tax records or their bank records are being looked at. But for whatever reason, they're under the impression, and it's a concerning one, that they're being investigated by the federal government. Now, a lot of people, their immediate reaction is unfortunately to go out and try to talk to investigators. Investigators may even invite them to come and talk. Immediately doing that is a bad idea. For a whole lot of reasons, that information can be used against a person, and if they don't know what's being investigated, or they don't have any idea of what they're being looked at for, they can very often hurt themselves. Now, I'm not saying nobody should ever talk to law enforcement if they're the subject of a federal investigation. What I am saying is they need to be strategic about it. They need to talk to a lawyer. They need to talk to a lawyer who does federal work, and oftentimes those lawyers can get in place certain protections. One, they can talk to the investigators about what's happening, what the case is about, and then talk to the person being investigated about what their concerns should be. Two, if there are concerns there and they can help themselves by talking, then they can get what's called a proffer letter in place, and that letter will protect things that they say from being used against them. And ultimately, a decision has to be made about whether it's beneficial to that individual to go in and talk to federal investigators. Anyone who thinks they're being investigated shouldn't just run out and talk to investigators. They need to talk to a qualified federal defense lawyer, talk to that lawyer about their situation, have that lawyer talk to the agents, and then make a strategic decision about going in and making any kind of statement.